What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's goody? How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling? So we've been having this conversation, right? Dang! As soon as we got up here, what's good? What's up, Samantha?
Not much. How about yourself?
Another day in the life.
Hmm.
Oh, I'll let you go ahead and answer the prompt. Just let me say this real quick. As we live in 2025, right? So if she's independent, is the check still expected on his side? If she has her own career, her own money, her own independence, but when the bills come, it's a man should pay, right? So the question is simple. Is it still a man's job to pay for everything in a relationship, or is that outdated thinking? Because traditionalism versus modern reality, in traditional relationships, men paid because women usually didn't have jobs and couldn't earn wages. Now there are women who are out earning and outpacing men, but the traditional treatment is still expected. So where is the line between modern independence and modern responsibility?
I would say that I feel like in today's world, I don't think socially, I feel like people still expect it to be that way, but in reality, I don't think it should be. I think it all depends on the relationship. Like, both me and my husband work. We both, split the chores in the house. We both, 100%, 100% everything. But when it comes to like when we go out to eat, he likes to pay. And that's our thing. Like he had that conversation with me that he prefers to pay when we go on date nights. He prefers to feel like he's treating me. So I think at all at the end of the day it comes down to you and your partner as individuals, not from a social construct.
I agree with that. Trust no one.
What she just said, she just took the words right out of my mouth. I need to go. Hey, I'm at the crib right now. We got two cribs. I'm the man of two households. I gotta hurry up and get off this line and get off social media. May not make it in enough time, but I always got tomorrow. It ain't that bad. It's not that serious. But I gotta get to the wife at the other crib and cut the grass. I'm taking care of two houses, and I ain't rich. I ain't rich, but the old traditional way that's gone now. And the only reason why the man could do what he did back in the traditional days, in the traditional way, is because it was easier for him to do it. There's been so much more pressure put on the man today and the woman. My wife, she's a boss now. When she met me, I was the boss. I helped her get through school. Now she has LLC. She's writing checks and giving out jobs now. She's the boss. She demands to work. She that's her thing. And then when you think about it, who wants a broke husband? Who wants a broke wife? Especially during times like this and the way life is life in today. They both need to be working. There's a lot of men and women out there right now that's blessed that can have a second home, and you don't got to be rich to do what me and my wife is doing. You don't have to be wealthy to do what me and my wife is doing. But there's a lot of people in relationships right now. That man can go and make a second home for his family. But he won't because he's too busy trying to survive off of what the wife got going.
Yeah,
There's a
like
woman out there can do the same.
yeah,
They can
like
have two homes. Not everybody like she said, and like you said too, host. You made some valid points before she even spoke, and then she made some beautiful points. And putting y'all points together, it's real. We living in a different time today. I love the way you worded your words in the beginning. I love what she just said. We're living in different times now. So I encourage, motivate, inspire. If you're in a relationship, I don't care if you married or not married. You need to be making a way for yourself and your wife. If there's a possibility that you can get out and get a second home, go do it. Because you'll be surprised. You never know how there's been times where my wife have had to come stay here. I have had to go stay with her just to get to where we at.
oh yeah, like my husband, he is doing something like for like he's in the army right now. He's deploying so that we can buy a home, we can start a future. Because at 24 years old, it's almost unheard of to find 24-year-olds that have bought a home. And he's doing all that because, like, I can't join the army. I have health issues. But he's doing something that a lot of people, like in my age group, would not be willing to do to build a life with somebody. And he's doing all that, and I'm doing what I need to at home to build our family too. Like,
And right. And all you got to do with what you're doing is just manage and maintain being loyal.
yeah, and on top of and I have picked up a second job so that we can cover all the bills, so that every penny that he is making over there is being saved for our home.
And it's
Like,
a blessing to be the man of two households, people.
I feel like with my age group in particular, it's expected that one or the other person has got to be who builds the life. When in reality, it needs to be both of you. One person might be bringing the money in, but you've got to be building the other portion of that. It takes both people.
I watched my mother leave in 2023. And her and my dad was married for 57 years. For better or worse, I got other family members who've been I got other family members who've been married. Another part of the family that was married for 70 some years before his wife left. You got to be willing to go through and get through the things that's set out to the relationship. A lot of people is scared to put that work in. So for better or for worse, to unalive do us part, that's not a game. Her husband is not going to give up on her because she got health conditions. She's not going to give up on her husband if he comes back with health conditions. My dad didn't give up on my mom because she had breast cancer. She did dialysis 3 times a week. Her cancer came back to her abdomen. She lost a breast doing breast cancer. She did beat COVID. She
Oh,
had two
yo,
or three
trust,
strokes
trust,
until the
trust,
third stroke took her
trust,
week. So I'm just saying, man.
trust.
Yeah,
Here, let
I'm
Fernando go
listening.
ahead
Go
and
ahead.
speak. You've been waiting. Let
I'm
Fernando go
listening. Go
ahead and
ahead.
speak. You've been waiting.
Hey, but anyway, host, thank you for letting me up. I got to drop. I got to get to the wife. Anyway.
Thanks for having me.
And hating the fact that they have to be men. First of all, women don't even want to be men, so we don't want to pay for anything. And first of all, women don't even want to be men, so we don't want to pay for anything.
You can ask your question, but Fernando was getting ready to speak. And if you stay here long enough, I feel as if you'll get an understanding for where I'm coming from with the prompt, because it has nothing to do with men being men and everything to do with painting a picture of why we have the expectations. You feel me? I was like, we're asking the question of why, so we have the
Don't work, don't
understanding
eat,
of it.
but I'm going to listen.
Right, but a man eating isn't the same thing as a man paying for everything. You feel me? And when we ask the question, everything
Eating
to
is
some
mean like metaphorically.
bro, can we what? Stop talking over me, please. Hey, like I pointed out in the beginning, Fernando's supposed to have the floor.
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to say that was the coolest cough I ever heard in my life. I ain't never heard nobody cough and throw a laugh in there and just like, all right, back to neutral. I ain't never heard nobody cough and throw a laugh in there and just like, all right, back to neutral. Um, Thanks for having me. Yeah, I would like to say, in the world we live in today, society has told men that, they told us back, I guess, that men hunt. We go out there and we just hunt for the food, and a woman had her position. Um, I believe a woman can do it too, though. Like, because my mom, she got a crazy grind. Like, she got a crazy hustle. And there's been times where we were just broke. We didn't have no food in the refrigerator. You keep opening up that refrigerator, and nothing's popping inside of there. Then she can hustle anyone with charisma, with love and respect. That was the old school way. My dad worked. I do believe two can do it. You know what I mean? Because it's teamwork, and
All
you
right,
know,
for the question directly, is it still the man's job to pay for everything?
no,
All right, Seven Heaven, answer the question directly, and then you
Yes, it
can say
is a
something.
man's job to pay for
Yeah.
everything. My perspective is I hate the way society tend to like nowadays it's like you can't even have an opinion to like nowadays it's like you can't even have an opinion without people being like, oh my god, like so offended. Like everyone's so sensitive nowadays, right? That's what I want to throw out there first. Second, to me, it's seeming like men hate the fact that they have to be men. It's like, one, we don't hate the fact that they have to be men. It's like, one, we don't, as a woman, I don't want to be responsible for everything. I want to be the one that cooks the meals. I want to come up with the best lasagna tonight. I want to tuck the kids in. I want to read stories. I want to help them with their homework. I want to be a helpmate. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to go out and hunt, as he said it. So when they say, and I don't mean to bring the Bible in, but when they say a man that don't work, don't eat, it's not talking about specifically eating and like food wise. It's speaking like spiritually, mentally, like you don't get to that next level. I feel like first of all, as independence became so new to us that it's like we jumped on it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're making just as much money as you guys. We're going to school. We're like, it's like for me personally, I always say if I purchase my home before I get married, I'm not getting married. So it's like I'm noticing men hate the fact that they want to have to be men. It's like, why do I have to do this and she have to do that? It's like, bro, I'm just a girl in the world. Like I'm not here to help you hunt. I'm here to wait till the food get home and then I season it and cook it. Like I'm not. So I'm definitely like I agree that women have their role. Now if I'm in let's say I'm in a situation with with my spouse and he's been paying for everything and he comes to me and say, hey, I have this
Fernando,
going
I'm gonna
on.
rape you.
I have this going on and babe, let's say he comes up to me with a plan like, hey babe, I got like a 4 to 5 year plan. I'm gonna need to like, save my money a little bit so I can get to that plan. Of course, as a helpmate, I am going to step in and all that money that I've been saving because I've always been told as a woman, you always should have your own secret stash. So yeah, that money that I've been saving, I'm going to help you and invest in you and get you to that next level because it's not only going to benefit me, it's going to benefit, I mean, it's not only going to benefit you, it's going to benefit me. So yeah, there's moments where I need to step in that role, but that 50-50 is like if you just can't afford to pay the bills, you can't afford to pay the bills. Just let me know that because as my job as a woman is to implement you, is to help you grow. So it's like I'm saving this money. What do you think I'm saving it for? You know what I'm saying? So I'm here to help you. I'm not here to build houses with you. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I'm a girl.
And I was gonna say, I as a woman, I just like I you weren't here when I first gave my opinion, but that's why I say at the end of the day, it really comes down to what you as an individual want in your relationship. Like I could never be a stay-at-home wife. It drives me absolutely bonkers to be in the house, even if I'm leaving the house. But if I'm not going, like I like going to work and being able to help. But we don't do 50-50. We do 100%, 100%. We both put in the same amount of effort. There is no, like, he just cleans the house, I just go to work, vice versa. We both put in the same amount of effort to build our lives for each other.
Say a stay-at-home mom just because I don't have a 9 to 5 doesn't mean I'm not working. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, I'm not saying that at all.
Like I could have a vision board that I'm trying to like I'm making these things happen. I could have certain goals for my kids and I want them to be straight A honor roll kids. So like working comes in different ways, but I definitely agree where you're coming from. Like if it's a situation, like my thing is people make it seem like it's a wrong thing to struggle with your partner. It is absolutely normal to be 20 years old and y'all both struggling and you guys are both helping each other. I get that part. But when we get to a part, a moment where it's like, for me, I don't always want to be in that situation. I want to get to a point where we could buy a house and I'm in the house and doing my own little projects and he's doing his own little projects and we're meeting in the middle.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that being a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home wife isn't a job whatsoever. I just, yeah.
Does I did the whole stay, like just literally stay in the house, did what I seen my mom do, and it drove me crazy. I literally, like, no, we broke up. We took some space apart because it was just like, this is too much. I'd rather break up with you and you get your own apartment and I can drop them kids off and I get a break. But I get where you're coming from. It does become overwhelming and then it just becomes like, oh my God, what do I do when you're just twiddling your thumbs when your kid's at work? But yeah, like you agreed with me that like working comes in different ways. Like I might have a project, I could be making bracelets, I could be making skincare line. But again, it all boils down to, yes, eventually you will have to pay for everything and let me save my money.
All right, so again, with this conversation, the whole point that my overall goal is making is just having a general understanding of why we expect what we expect and what the reality of that is in this world. Last night we were talking about this and the fact that the average household doesn't have a lot of money in savings already, period, right? And the average independent person is living paycheck to paycheck. So, with a lot of people's rhetoric on, yes, it is a man's job to pay for everything, and I don't want a man in my life if he's not able to foot the bills. If both of us are already statistically speaking living paycheck to paycheck, why or what magical assumption is happening that makes me able to bridge the difference now that I know you? You feel me?
As well, like for me, I
How
can
is that
say,
a defense mechanism for
like,
bringing up
let me
the
explain.
reality of most
Let
people's
me explain.
status?
Let me explain. The same way I could tell a man, I would never cook for a man. I would never. I feel like as women, that's like a defense. Eventually I would cook for you, but I need you to put in that work to make me comfortable being in that submissive realm to do those things. When I first meet you, I'm gonna tell you I would never do that for you. I'm not gonna do that for you unless you invest your time, your emotions, and all these things into me. Then I might start washing your drawers and doing different things for you. But I'm not about to offer it, do that for you.
I still don't understand why you're correlating what you're saying and what I just said to equal defense mechanisms.
I'm not going to come to you and tell you I'm going to accept 50-50 until you invest something into me. Then, eventually, like I said before, when you come to me and you done put in that time, that effort, and you come to me and say, hey, babe, I got a dream. All right, babe, this is what I've been saving. So you know what? Go do your thing. I got it from here. When you
I still
good, let
fail
me
to
know.
understand how me. All right, let me just say this really quick. I literally just said that the reality of the fact of the matter is the majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So having the expectation that it's a man's job to pay for everything, cool, fine. But if the reality is you're living paycheck to paycheck and he's living paycheck to paycheck, what is happening once you guys come into relationship that now makes him able to bridge the difference to not only not live paycheck to paycheck, but pay for everything for you as well? What makes that a
Then you
defense
shouldn't be
mechanism?
dating.
And again, that's not what I'm saying either. I'm saying this is this typical reality in America. You feel me? That's all I'm saying is this is the reality in America for the majority of people, period. So what you're saying is the majority of people shouldn't be dating, period. I'm not negating that, but that also applies to women if they're living paycheck to paycheck, or does it not?
Man, unfortunately, in this society,
Okay,
and
that's
that's
fine.
just how the world is.
As a woman, I have to disagree with that.
Let other people speak. Hakeem, Tyrant, Chris,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, shit.
I'll say yeah. It's a man's job to pay for everything. I mean, I'm gonna hold it down for my girl, but at the same time, like what you said, like sometimes if we doing like you said, paycheck to paycheck, we can't be going out all the time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to cook at home.
Mhm. You done?
And it boils
Yeah,
down. Sorry, Hakeem, go ahead.
yeah, I'm pretty much done with mine. With the prompt, I mean, I pretty much agree. Should pay for everything. Yeah, if she independent, even if she is independent, we should try, lead and show that we could provide. But at the same time, like I was saying, what I'm saying, if you broke, like what I'm saying, you ain't gonna be able to eat out too often, but do what we can.
Um, so let me see. So I don't think a man should be paying for everything if he's not in a position to pay for everything. Now, if you got it and you want that your girl to look at you in a type of way where you feel like a man, or you want her to look at you as like a leader, and you want to take on that role, take it. But if you ain't got it, G, don't you better utilize everybody you got living in that household for you to survive or for you to save something, because I feel like a lot of dudes live in this, they want to fulfill the whole patriarchal standard of what a man's supposed to be. And I found that they eventually end up, you know, unaliving themselves doing so, trying to live up to that expectation. So I say, man, if you got it, do it for your girl. But if you don't do it, man. Don't be trying to live a life that ain't meant for you. And I say, you in a relationship for a reason, man. This ain't, utilize the people you got in front of you. Even if she wants, even if she independent, and if you got it, man, you should spoil your girl, man. As long as she's showing appreciation to you. Cause I ain't doing that for no girl that ain't showing no
Tyrant.
love to it.
What's up?
Up to date. Sorry, Tyrant. You should set yourself to date. If I'm ready to start
Speak yet, Tyrant?
start saving your money.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, nah, cause sometimes like sometimes you don't just date just to, like
It's
you
too
might be
risky.
looking for some help somewhere. You might need to bridge the gap. You might need somebody to fill in some spaces where you lack at. So it's
Did
not
you hear?
always you're gonna be in an ideal situation. You out there dating to gain something in your life. You just can't. You realize you can't take care of everything, and you need to take some of the
Would you be dating
responsibility
for
off
a
you.
roommate, or would you be dating because you feel like I'm ready to start dating? Because it's
Here, 1 second. Tyrant, did you get the answer?
No, but I'm chill. I'm being polite and waiting my turn, man. We're good. Let
Well,
them
no,
finish.
I was asking you, Hakeem, and Chris to go ahead and answer the question directly before we just get into open discourse.
Okay, sure. Honestly, it depends on your situation. I agree with you. Most of the U.S. population is living paycheck to paycheck, whether they're male or female. I will agree with that sentiment. However, I'm not in that situation. I'm not rich by any means. My wife is not rich by any means, but together we have a pretty solid income to be comfortable. And then I got VA stuff coming in too that's basically a third paycheck. And then because of the VA stuff, we've got free healthcare. So I'm in a very unique situation. However, she still chooses to work because she wants to help provide. I would not call that a unique situation. I think a lot of households are like that, and I think that's what a lot of these women that want to be stay-at-home moms overlook. There are women out there that want to help, they want to go on a summer vacation and they know you can't do that by yourself. So they're going to go get a job and help with the bills so that you can put something away to go on a summer vacation together as a family.
Yeah, that's exactly, sorry to butt in again, that's exactly what me and my husband are doing. He is deployed, and I am working so that we can save every bit of that money to go towards a house. And I want to do that. I didn't have to do that.
That's my point. It's something that these women that do this want. It's not something that they feel like needs to happen. It's something that they want to do. And my wife loves her job. She's been doing it for 15 years. She started as an EMS technician on the back of a truck, and then she started working in an ER as a nurse, and now she's a respiratory therapist. She actually went to school and specialized. I'm proud of her. I'm glad that she's doing what she loves, and she loves doing it. It's not just extra income for the family. She's doing what she loves to do. She loves working, and I love it for her, and I'm never going to take that from her. I have offered, because we're fine. I technically have 2 incomes of my own, but we're comfortable right now, and she knows that we wouldn't be as comfortable if she would quit, and she loves her job. So, like, why would I stop that? Plus, my kids are...
Well, isn't even a job. It's like you love to do it. Like your patience, it just becomes something that is in you. So I definitely totally get that.
Exactly, and mine's the same way. And again, that's another luxury that I have that a lot of people don't have is 1, I love my job. 2, I work from home. And 3, I kind of make my own hours, and I might work 2 hours a day, but I'm paid 40 hours a week. So,
well, bless you.
I ain't complaining.
Can I give a controversial stance? I don't know if it's controversial on this panel, to be honest.
Sam, please talk.
Please
I think, to be honest, a man should be providing for the household and his wife, family. This is what I think. Even if both are working, it's the man's responsibility to pay the bills and put food on the table. Even if she's independent.
I got a caveat to that question. Is it in this situation, do they got kids or no kids?
Kids.
Okay, that might be a little tricky.
Do you agree or disagree?
But it boils down to setting yourself up. There's rules to dating that people just tend to like. There's rules to everything, right? But if you want to date someone, you should for me personally, if I'm not financially stable, I don't want to date. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel like I'm obligated to go to dinner with you and might have to go to your house because you paid for the meal. No, I might have a moment where I spin the table on you and I'm like, hey, let me pay for this. I like to flex a little bit too. You feel me? So yeah, it's gonna be times where I'm gonna want to step up and let you see what my standards is. If I can do it for me, then you should be able to do it for me. So
100%.
If you want to date, start saving your money. Get yourself in a career choice. Get your education right. Get yourself to a point where you're like, okay, now I'm ready to date. Not, dang, I'm struggling, so maybe I should find it. That's a roommate.
But what if, like, you really into somebody and you ain't financially stable? You gonna really wait until you financially stable? They might be, by the end, they might.
She's gonna wait. Yep.
But what is financially stable to you?
Thing for that you can do for yourself. If I'm telling you to take me to Turks and Caicos or Paris or somewhere, I can take myself already. So I'm asking you, can you? And if you can't, then you just not in that realm for me to be dating you. And that's okay.
I have a question for you then. You, when I first came up here, were talking about how a man should most definitely provide and a woman shouldn't have to work and she should stay at home. So how the fuck are you taking yourself to Turks and Caicos?
Let's watch our language. We don't want to get them bananaed. We love TikTok shop. What I said was, if I'm in a situation with, first of all, get yourself financially stable to date. If I'm in a situation where my man has been providing for me, he has proved to me that he can pay these bills, because I'm not dating you if you're not financially stable. That's just my standard, and that's okay. We have choices in the world. But if it come down to it and my man says, hey, I have this dream, babe, and it makes sense. Submission comes with a mission. I'm willing to submit to your mission if it makes sense to me. So all that money that I've been saving, Yeah, I'm willing to
What money are
invest
you
in you
saving
because
if you're not
your
working?
dream makes sense.
What money are you saving if you're not working?
Oh, see, that's clock that T. I literally said when you're and me and Samantha was just talking. Not, I don't have to have a 9 to 5 to bring in money. I can be making skincare line. I
Yeah.
can be making bracelets. I could be making incense from home. I'm not
Having
gonna
a
sit
little
home
business,
and
having
twiddle
your
my
own business.
thumb. But that's just me though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I would love that for my wife. That's something I would definitely encourage. And to be honest, for the most part, I agree with you. I do think it is definitely age specific. The examples you are giving, I don't think it would apply to someone in their early 20s. If we're trying to be as realistic as possible, if we're talking like 24s and below, it's not something that they would follow. But if you're talking late 20s, early 30s, that's definitely like the bare minimum, and that's a valid prerequisite to have looking into getting into a relationship. You want a man who's financially stable and able to provide and give you the ability to experiment in terms of making money. You know, nowadays we know the power of social media and making money online. You can make real good money just at home. And if you have a husband and you are that husband who's able to provide for the household and allow your wife to, you know, do her own thing, and that money is for her to save up for her and for you as well. It could be a thing where you guys are looking into buying a house in the foreseeable future. Any money that you save and the money she saves, you can put together and figure something out, or maybe a business venture. It's everything. But I do
know.
believe.
If you don't mind, I have a follow-up question for what she just said before I leave.
No, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
You said 7 that you have to see that he's putting in the work and financially stable before you commit to spending your money on something that has to do with the two of you, like a vacation. What that says to me is
Different. Vacation is different.
Hold on a second. What that says to me is, from your point of view, even if you do have a hobby that's profitable or a job working from home, that you're not spending a dime of your money on the relationship or the household until he proves to you what?
So what I meant by
No, that's
I can
what
elaborate
That's
if you
exactly
want me
what you're
to.
trying to say.
I can elaborate if you'd like me to.
Please
Can
do. You're contradicting yourself left and right.
My thing is I like to debate logically, not emotional. So let's not get in our
Not
feelings.
dating at all. You make no.
No, that's
For
exactly what you
me
kind of just said,
personally,
though.
again, I stated if I'm dating a man and I'm asking him to take me to Paris, it's because I could take myself to Paris. And
So
I
you,
always grew up, me personally, in the black household, and grandmama always told you, keep your money, keep your.
Wait. So, can you take me to Paris? And if he says he can't afford it, you're gonna fucking
I would
put
never
him
be
in the
dating you.
doghouse.
That's what I'm saying. I would
You're gonna
never be
put him in the
dating you.
doghouse and shame him because you can afford to take
No,
your
I'm
own
not
ass to
shaming you.
Paris.
I have a right to say I don't want to date you because
You know,
you're
you
not
sound like that
financially in
kind
my
of woman.
caliber. We're not equally yoked. You're married, so you should get that equally yoked
If
part,
you're
right?
making
oh,
friendship
why you
bracelets,
need to be
sweetheart,
equally
and
yoked?
incense, you don't have enough money to take your ass to Paris. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Well, first of all, I'm a nurse, so clock that. See, I make $42 an hour, and I'm actually
Okay,
about
we
to
didn't
get
say
my
that. You said
LPN.
making fucking
God
incense
bless
and
you.
friendship
God bless you.
bracelets.
Okay. First of all,
It doesn't matter.
Tyrant, the cursing is just is like let's
I
chill.
don't care what you fucking
What
think,
I'm
bitch.
saying is,
Chill. It
first of all, social.
don't even matter. It don't even, we gonna move on. We gonna move on. We gonna move on.
Just in a bit.
Disrespectful.
Like I said before, I think it comes down to an individual's preference or you as a couple, what you want to do. I don't think there is a right or a wrong answer.
A woman right now that's making cakes and make probably more than her husband, and her husband go missing for 6 months and does the whole construction worker thing. There's different ways to make money, Tyrant.
And
Um, and
that's
you're
fair. And that's fair. Hear me out. That's fair. But the way that you
Dog,
framed this,
it don't matter. I just said we're moving on. This is not the point of the conversation.
that's
We're not here to ask how much money
land my
you
plane.
You're
Can I land my
talking.
plane?
Shut the fuck up, Tyrant. Excuse me. I literally look. My one rule is if
Can I land my plane?
start talking, do not unmute and start talking. You feel me? Like, what sense does that make? It happened for a reason.
Can I land my plane real quick?
No, because I don't care about this topic.
I want to move on as
Say
well.
no,
But
dog. I already muted you. Like I thought we had moved on when Samantha started talking. Like that's no. What do you want to say?
Madden drop?
Yes, he dropped.
Oh my
Yes,
god, that's a typical AO.
with Samantha's point, say like it's dependent on each individual couples or individual like couple. Yeah, fair enough. You can agree with that, but at the same time, I do believe like men should follow
you let me land my plane. Like I dropped because you wouldn't let me talk.
Dog, are you good? Are you good or are you not? Because you dropped yourself and you just came back and interrupted somebody. I literally just muted you because I said you were interrupting people. You feel me? And then I said we're moving on. And we started to move on. Homie literally just addressed Samantha, not you and Seven going back and forth because the topic went beyond what was even being said. You reading into how much money she makes, dog. And he's not here for that.
Yeah, I was saying that the kind of frame that a man should take is just like a provider mindset. You shouldn't really look.
No, I don't think so.
Fair enough. Why not?
Especially, I don't know where you live, but I'm
In
from
the
I'm
UK.
from the tri-state. I'm from New York, New Jersey area, and
First thing,
it's
he was
always
talking. You just can't come up here and cut him off. And then on top of that, you didn't need to speak to the host.
He ain't got to speak to me. The only reason I let it go is because Unknown addressed him and asked the question.
Yeah, it's
Like,
all right. Yeah,
right.
I apologize, brother. How you doing, brother?
no, it's all right.
And how is
Go.
everybody else doing too?
Yeah, but
Now,
he
like I was
still
saying before, the
just
reason why I
can't
don't,
just come up here and interrupt somebody.
I waited to a break where there was no
It
one
wasn't
talking,
a
sister.
break,
But
though.
if I feel like I insulted somebody, I don't want to insult nobody.
Okay, but you just can't
I
come up
like to be
here and
peace and
then
stay
just
on dialogue.
interrupt.
So I apologize
You
to
can't
whoever I
just come up
insulted.
here and do that. Like that's not even like, come on now.
I just know
Respect.
apologize for it. How many times do you want me to apologize for it, sister?
Okay, well apologize and then mute and let him finish.
I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the love. No, the only thing I was gonna say was that I do believe men should have a providing mindset, and they should be the one who should look to be depended on rather depending on their partner. And I feel like that creates a strong household because a wife who's able to lean to her husband whether she wants to work or not is more of a stronger household than a husband who leans on on his wife for maybe splitting the bills. I feel like that type of stuff is alien and it should never even be considered. I do agree with Seven when it comes to pursuing, high levels of education or avenues where you can make more money so that the man is providing. I do agree with that.
I would say though, it's kind of age based though, because you can't expect like a 21-year-old like that dude be having like everything together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
100%.
it has goals out, reaching for it, but you can't expect them to have it like right at the moment.
You know what's funny? I said that earlier on as well. I said it to Seven. I said, for someone in the early 20s, let's say like 24, 25 lower, looking to get into a relationship, they're not going to be financially stable. That's just a fact. But the mentality I personally believe they should have approaching a relationship is to both have a providing mindset where they intend to be able to fully provide for their partner, and also to be able to reach a position where they are able to become financially stable. But they have to have plans in motion, and Seven did mention that before as well. She did say that a man should have plans in motion for that financial stability title rather than having an ambition without execution.
I think
Well,
this goes to a conversation that pretty much stay in your tax bracket. Don't go
well,
don't go outside or higher than your tax bracket. Don't go lower. Stay within your tax bracket and what you can afford at that age. And
I think that people love is based off of you're gonna find whoever you want to be with, regardless of how it is. Finances don't really play too much of a role. And like I was saying before, I'm from New York. In New York, average cost of living for a place is like $2,000, $3,000, and New York has always been a working class society. Even if you look at shows like The Cosby Show, Bill Cosby was a doctor, his wife was a lawyer. It's always a working class type of environment, and so I, especially when you start out. Now there's different scenarios. If you're just now starting out, you would if you're with a woman, you guys are going to go half on bills and everything. Now if you're over 35 and 40, most likely you have your own place. So if and you're moving somebody into your place, or maybe you've been through divorce and you don't want to move somebody into your house anyway, so you got to paying bills in two separate households. She's paying for her stuff, you paying for your stuff. I landed. I'm sorry.
It boils down to, are we looking for roommates or a spouse? For real, for real.
At the end of the day, a spouse is a spouse, regardless of it. I mean, I seen people that didn't have anything, and if it was a roommate, that means that you could bring people over to your household, and you guys could all you have to do is just put a sock around the door, and you're able to do whatever you want to do.
Honestly, I think it boils down.
Show, and I'm sure Cosby was the one working first, and then it got to a point. That's what I had stated before. Like, bro, it it gets, there's levels to things. Like, if we're talking about girlfriend, boyfriend, and we're talking about 20-year-olds, it is absolutely okay to struggle together. Yes. But if you're a grown 40-year-old man and you're asking me to help you pay your rent, and you was already paying your rent by yourself before I got here, you're bugging.
Exactly. I agree with you on that one. But at the same time, if you're a grown woman and you're 40 and you're asking a man to pay your rent, you're in the same position.
You, I just said it. I would have to be in a position where I'm already financially stable to date someone that's financially stable. I'm not going to have bread and date. Crackheads chill with crackheads. Broke people chill with broke people. I'm not going to be having money and then I'm dating someone that's not on my level.
You could
This
have
is
money, money can
look
disappear.
real quick, and
And most relationships that start out super
this is why
money can
look
disappear.
real quick, and
And most relationships that start out super
this is why when I approach the conversation, I lay out the fact that the majority of people are not doing what we're talking about. You feel me? I'm not saying that it's not possible, but even the people who are doing it, the majority live paycheck to paycheck, right? So now that we've come into union, what is happening to bridge the gap between paying for me and paying for both of us and everything?
it's how can a person really, really love you when they see you working all these things and paying most of your money on the household and bills while they take their money? How is that love?
Roommate, buddy.
Want up here like married or anything like
Yeah,
that?
I've been married for
Oh,
25 years. That's why I'm trying to understand this.
okay, so you're married for 25 years, right? So I'm
Yeah,
assuming that you're like 40, 50 years old, right?
51.
Okay, you're 51 years old and you're not even financially stable yet. You're
Are you
asking your wife
are you
to come,
psychoanalyzing somebody that
you
you don't
asking
know
your
from a
wife
couple of
to
minutes?
build for you, and you're 51.
No,
What
no.
did
Me and
you
my
do with
wife.
your, what
I'll
did
tell
you
you my
do?
story. You don't have to
What
tell
did
my
you do
story
in your
for me.
20s and your 30s?
Oh,
Just played
like I
around.
said before, I could tell my story. I don't need you to tell it for me. Psychoanalyze.
So, you all just were up here when homie Tyrant dropped and him and Seven got muted because this conversation is transcending the topic and digging into people's background. I don't know none of y'all. I don't give a damn.
I apologize, brother. I don't like to be psychoanalyzed by people that knew me from 2 minutes, 2 seconds.
Yes.
Me and my wife, when we first started out, I mean, we went through some stuff. When we first started out, we were working at Burger
Still
King
going
and
through it.
at McDonald's and Burger King. We had little small jobs. Sometimes
And you
we
still
were
going
working at
through it.
or working at a call center. We went through a lot of different things. Sometimes we went broke a couple of times. We had to
And
get it
y'all still
right.
struggling.
okay to struggle when
We
you're in
had to
your
get it
20s.
right, but we in our 20s. We in our early 20s. What are
Right,
you
and it's
supposed to
okay to
do?
struggle when you're in your 20s.
When you
We
in our
agree
You're
on
old,
that.
50 years old. You're still struggling.
But if you're, and
you
she's
don't
not
know me
saying
from
it
a can of
personally
paint.
to
How do you know
you.
what
I
I'm
could
doing? You
tell.
probably the one that's struggling without
I
no
could
man.
tell.
I can
No,
tell
Alpha,
if you
you're taking it
I
psychoanalyze, you
bet
personal.
probably
you
end up
that
by
I live a
yourself.
better life.
I think you by yourself.
You're taking it
Children,
personal. Oh, sorry, you
children,
didn't mute me, so I don't
children,
know if I said.
children. 7, not you. Chill. Like, chill. Chill.
I do want to say that I feel like, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm seeing marriage as a union. So the money that you spend doesn't mean the money that your wife saves is just for her. It's for you guys, right? But it's where the money's
But they're
going.
both struggling. They're both struggling. That's the problem. It's a
Well, as you, I
problem.
think you single. You can't be in a
Yeah,
I
I
relationship.
live a
feel I
better
feel
life
like
than you.
I
I'm
don't think you in a
I'm
relationship. I
single,
think
and
you
I bet you I live a better life.
but I feel like if you're both struggling, like
deal with that, really.
get you. I'm not saying you shouldn't get together if you're struggling, but if you're both struggling to the point where you can't even pay your own rent, there's something that needs to be addressed. Maybe you can come to,
We need to go back into our corners and save up our money.
but maybe you can come
Hey,
into some common
hey,
ground. Like you're happy to go to a
I didn't
shared
hey,
mean to drop you,
accommodation.
bro. That was an accident. Request back
hey,
up.
let
My
me,
fault.
hey,
Can't
let me,
live in
let
a
me,
tent together.
hey,
I
hold
Maybe
on
didn't
one
mean to
second,
drop you,
man.
bro.
Let me help y'all. Hey, man, let me help y'all. This is what's happening. Nowadays, the new
Josh, is
female,
you married?
absolutely, to a beautiful woman, she a nurse
Okay.
practitioner getting ready to be a doctor. We both make well over 100 some thousand a year. I
Okay. Do
live
you
in a
require
beautiful
her
five
to pay?
bedroom home.
Do you require
We
her to
drive
pay the
nice
household
cars.
bills?
We absolutely do our thing, man. Now,
Yeah.
are you gonna let me talk?
Of
Are you
course not. She's
requiring your
toxic.
wife to pay
May
the
I
household
may
bills?
I speak? May I speak?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. The problem that we have right now in society is men have been tricked to believing that a relationship should be transactional. Love has nothing to do with money. Men have been tricked to believe that the way that you become a man or the way you show you a man is if you pay all her bills, take care of her fully, and then when y'all get divorced, she gonna take half your stuff. A
Why
Don't
would
work,
you
don't
woman,
eat,
a,
not
a
want to
Joshua.
take
woman that
care?
loves you. Hold on, let me finish, please. A woman that loves you is gonna help you build some stuff together.
Hmm.
Right now, what we dealing with is modern day escorts. That's all they talk about is money.
And
Where
most
you
of these
gonna
women be
take me?
single.
What? Where you gonna take me? What you
See,
gonna buy
escort
me?
didn't deal with that.
Everything they
Shit,
do
can't
is
stand the rain.
transactional. Everything that everything they do is transactional. They don't even talk about love. All they talk about is money. All they talk about is trying to use somebody. And do you know the saddest thing about it is they will
Talk about
not
his
tell their
coochie.
sons that.
Listen
All
to
y'all
how they
talk about
talk.
is
Hey,
coochie.
hey,
Listen to how
let
they
me
talk. You
finish.
can see the toxicity.
Hey, let me finish. The stuff that they telling men to do, they would not tell their sons to do that. If their son came home and told them, "Hey, mom, she told me to pay all her
To
bills,"
date until
they're
he
gonna be
has a
like,
car.
"What?" Their son is gonna be like, "What?" She gonna be like, "Nah, you better not be paying nobody bills. You better take care of your own bills." All that stuff is just garbage, man. I land there.
Culture. I grew up in a household where I seen my daddy pay all the bills. I'm talking this man had a fever of 103 and still went to work. So I don't know about none of that. All I know is if I'm dating someone and I'm asking to go to Roof Chris, it's because I could already take myself. Period.
Man, look, I'm not gonna be
Yeah, the
sitting up
mortgage
here
was two
pregnant
hundred
with
dollars
no
back
man
then, man. Come
baby,
on.
and he ain't even trying to provide. Like I'm out here.
Hey, we would never be dating. That's all I'm saying.
Like I'm not gonna be out here pregnant with your baby, and I gotta work. Like
Man,
what?
that's a whole different
Like
scenario.
why would you not want to provide? That's
That's a
your
whole different
wife.
scenario, man. I'm
Because
talking about both of
wait,
y'all good. That's a whole different
It's not
scenario.
no. We ain't talking about no girlfriend. Your wife.
so
Like
let me
why
tell
would you not like do that? Like
so let
why
Hey,
me
would
they
tell
you
you
got
let me
not
tell you
FMLA. Hey, they got FMLA, man. We both got good jobs. They got FMLA.
so let me tell you
And
why.
it
To
shouldn't
resort
be
to
a
talking about
problem,
your
but you're
personal
coming
issues.
from
We're not
hurt.
talking about you personally. We're
So let
talking
me
about
tell you why
in
though.
society what's going on.
I'm
I wouldn't
how I
like you said about the son part. If my son tells me, My son is not going to be dating until he's in a situation where I know he got his. If you want to date and have fun, that's different. But if you want to bring a woman into your household, you need to be able to provide for her. Point blank.
Dating
Period.
is not about money,
It,
man.
I never
That's
said
why
that.
I
Brother,
said
Hold
did
up,
you hear what he
Joshua.
It
said
ain't
about
never
money?
about money. It's about
If
love.
I'm in a situation
Brother,
and
did
you
you hear what
said,
he
if my
said?
son comes home to me and says, "Hey, mom, this woman wants me to pay all my bills," is this a woman that wants to move in? Which I'm going to ask him questions. I'm not going to automatic. I'm not. Listen. First of all, your kids have free will. When they get to a certain age, we're just raising our kids for other people. If my child come up to me and say, "Mom, I'm ready to date." Okay, you got your degree, your car's paid off. You feel me? Now, if you having fun, you going on cruises with your friends, you meeting girls, that's different. But if you're ready to take a girl out of her household where her mom, huh, out of her situation, and you want her to come live with you better be able to provide for her. Period.
You
And
know
if
what
you
the you
can't,
know
then you're not ready to date, son. Because at
do
the end
you
of the
know
day,
what they
as a
do?
woman,
Like them
Joshua,
college
as a
You
man, you
gotta
boys.
take
can't
care
tell
of
me how a
grown
woman should
women,
feel.
man.
I'm a
Why,
woman.
why are you telling your
And how
son he
long you
got to
been
take care of
married?
another grown person?
What?
That doesn't even make any sense. Your
How
son
long
should be
have you
trying
been
to get a
married to?
teammate, man. Your son, you should be telling your son to get an asset, man, not a liability.
You
And
sound
how many?
crazy. Like
And
I
how
said,
long have
my
you?
Yeah,
And how
son
tell
long
gonna
your
have
be
you
in a
son
been
to get an
married?
situation where
asset,
he's
not a
And why do
financially
there
liability.
always
stable
be women
to
that
have
have
a
this
woman.
narrative
My
that's
son is
single
gonna
on the
be in a
side?
situation where he can go and speak to the father and the mother and say, "Hey, I like your daughter. I want your daughter to come and live with me." And if when that dad goes to asking my son questions because they have a right to be concerned about their child's well-being. Hey, son, okay, I understand you love my daughter. What's your goals? What's your 5-year goal? What's your 10-year goal? Where you at right now? Those are
Sister, I got a
okay
question.
to hold on. Those are okay to ask. And if it makes sense to them, then yeah, you can start dating and move that woman in. For me personally, my daughter's not moving out until a man come into my household and get down on one knee and ask for my blessing. Period.
Let me ask you a question, sister. Are you married right now? Are you engaged right now?
Not.
Oh no, I don't want to
Absolutely
see a
not.
ring. I just want to know. Now let me ask you this. So that man that's coming in your household, if you want him to pay all the bills, he's required to take care of your child as well.
Child
Uh,
together.
oh, you guys are technically like married.
We ain't got no paperwork. I'm engaged and we have a child. We have a kid together.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Just
That
making
was
sure I answered your question.
why does any of that matter? Like, you what?
'Cause, honestly, I think
Of respect he should put me in.
No, it's not about that. I could tell you what it's about. I was asking this if you want your man to pay all the bills, and I was thinking if that child was not his, you expect him to pay for that child as well.
Ghetto. I would not be in that situation because I have a plan and I planned
yo
my
yo
life
so,
out and I went by that plan.
yo. So first off, I think we should start like everybody keep on coming up with these if statements. If this happens, if this scenario, yo, all that tells me right now is like a lot of y'all is dating. Yo, all that tells me right now is like a lot of y'all is dating by fear. Like fear. All the men are in here talking about like is afraid to be providers because you're afraid to let a woman use you or be used or put yourself in a vulnerable position.
No,
And I
I
feel
didn't.
like a lot of
You need some therapy. You need to get yourself in a stable situation where you feel confident enough that even if there was that, even if it did come down to it and the woman was using you, it wouldn't affect you. You will move on, drop her like
They're
a bad
trying to
habit, and keep
trick
it
y'all
pushing.
to
yeah,
believe
you
that
can't say that
y'all
ain't
can
gonna
get
use you.
used
Like I
by them.
said before,
They
the
trying to
people want
trick
to.
y'all, man. You see her
Well,
telling
yeah,
you,
it's
even if she
manipulation
is
at its
using
best.
you, it's okay. She's telling you
Hell no,
to
I
be
can't
like,
say
even if she's
that.
using you,
It
that is
ain't
what you
tricking if
just
you got it.
said.
If you
You
don't
said
got
you
it,
should
you
be
don't got it.
confident
You're
to
not
know
dating. You should.
that if you
No,
get used,
sometimes
it's
you can
okay.
got it.
I'm
Come
just
on,
saying,
man.
I
Sometimes
see a
you
lot of
just fearful of
emasculation and
losing it.
manipulation going on when it comes down to that. Usually, people that are in a good
Yo, it's the
relationship
old
or a
men that's
healthy
saying this too.
relationship,
That's crazy.
they don't use tangible things. That because these same people that are looking for tangible things, those are the people that could break up if money goes bad. You know, the
It's
one
the
that
two
say,
older guys that are married that probably I literally said it's okay to struggle with your spouse if you choose to do that at a young age. If y'all both 20 and you want to move in and shack up, do
yeah.
that.
But what I'm
Do
saying,
that. But
but
some
what I'm
people
saying
don't
though,
want to
for the
do
older,
that, and that's absolutely okay.
but what I'm saying for the older
I would
ones too,
never want my daughter to shack up.
what I'm saying is for the older ones too, the ones that are 35 and 40. Usually at this time, you already have children. So I mean, you have children and you looking for a full time provider. How isn't that delusional?
Of a
That
child and
sounds like
I'm
some
dating
Kevin
someone that
Samuels
is not the
BS.
father of my child, you absolutely right. You better be financially able to take care of me and my kids. What are we talking about right now? Is it a crime to be financially smart and have some intellect for your future?
How is
Huh?
that my future? How is she my future or your kid my future? At the end of
Bro,
the
you
That's
day,
gotta
not your
if I'm gonna
situation.
provide,
That's not your situation. You just
bro,
said that you and your wife are great.
yeah,
Y'all
what I'm,
struggled at 20. Your wife chose to struggle with you, and that's absolutely okay.
bro,
It's also okay for a 20-year-old to have met you and in the situation you was in and say, hey, I don't think you're ready for me yet. That's
but
okay.
I mean
but bro,
everything. I mean,
Alpha,
I
Alpha,
mean, a matter of
Alpha,
fact, to be honest, she took my
Alpha.
virginity. I mean,
But here, I think that's where you trying to come.
If you wanted to.
that
That's
was
what
the
I'm
only.
saying.
I mean, at the end of the day, we grew in high school together. We grew out of high school together. We had our family
Alpha.
together. All of our kids are
And that's
together.
okay. But if I'm telling you personally, that's not what I want, you shouldn't feel belittled. You shouldn't feel like I'm
I'm
using
not
you. You shouldn't
belittled
feel
by
like
it. I'm just
no,
trying
no,
to
no. I'm not
understand.
saying you personally. Again, we're not talking about personally. I could care less about what you ate this morning. What I'm saying is you shouldn't feel offended if I'm telling you, hey, I don't want to date you because I don't feel like you're financially able. It's that ready for me. Now, if you like me
It's
enough,
not
you're gonna tighten up on
about
your game.
money. And you're gonna stay lost finding dudes that got money that's gonna use you,
Nah,
take
nah, nah.
advantage of
But yo,
you.
you gotta understand, man. Yeah, as a
It's
woman,
not
Therapist, you're
about
supposed to be my
money.
yo,
man.
yo.
Period.
Dating
But
is
yo,
not about
as
money.
wait. As a woman, yo, I don't care who you are. You ain't gonna never feel comfortable having a baby or being in a situation with a dude that's not financially stable. Because what if you
So
because you gotta always look at the scenario. What if I get pregnant? Then what?
Females can't control if they get
I'm
pregnant or
dating you with
not.
the purpose of I want to marry you. I want a future with
Females
you.
can't
I want to
control if
open
they get
businesses
pregnant or
with you.
not. Why do we always
Like
talk?
then
Why
what?
do we always talk about women like they're just helpless and can't do nothing? And oh
We
my
They
never
not
said
God,
that. We
anything.
never
Why do we
when you
said
always talk
that.
about
First of
pregnant,
women like
all,
bro.
that?
men want to be women
These
so
people are
bad, bro.
grown people. They
We
got
never said
minds.
that. Not one person in here said that,
You
Joshua.
just
You're
said,
literally
"Oh my God, who wants to do that?
okay.
What if
Now
she
let's
gets
okay. Now
pregnant?
that you
She
say
can
that, let's put
control
it in
getting pregnant,
perspective of
man.
speaking of let's say it's your child. Wouldn't you have a soft spot for your daughter? Wouldn't you want to tell your daughter, hey, if I see you sleeping in the car with this man, I don't think that's safe. I don't want that for you. Huh?
I think it's because like men always got the availability to leave a situation. If a woman gets
My
pregnant,
daughter is gonna.
she's kind of
My
like
daughter
just
with
stuck with
this
a
man,
child.
she is
A
gonna
man
be.
can kind of, you know.
She's gonna my daddy a dude to death. My daddy, my daddy, my daddy, my daddy, my
No,
daddy.
Yeah, I just want.
that's
I'm just
You
grateful that
are.
my daughter's with a guy that a nice guy that's not a gang member that's polite to her and treats her good.
no, that's
That's
a
all that
very,
matters
very
to
nice
me.
chat.
Sleeping in the car with
Brother,
the man that she loves, right?
I'm so
If the
sorry.
man that the man that she loves has a plan and they got in that
You is
situation,
not about to let
I
your daughter sleep
understand
in
I'm
that
no
so
because
car with no
sorry.
let me
man,
say
Alpha.
when they got in that
You is
situation,
not about to let
I
your daughter
understand
sleep in
that
I'm
no
so
car
because
with no
sorry.
let me
man,
say
Alpha. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to
my
hear that.
daughter's 25 years old, so she's on
Listen,
free will. She's gonna
listen,
love who she wanna love.
listen. I'm
I
so
have no
sorry, but the
influence with
bar,
that.
the
Your child sleeping in a vehicle.
I have
setting the
no.
bar of the
She's
man.
25 years old. She is a grown woman.
Hey,
That's
hey,
what we have. We have too many people in other people's business trying to make decisions for them.
hey, set.
Hey
And
yo,
that's
let's go
She's
true.
one
a
at a
25
time,
year
though.
old woman. She had to make her own decisions
We heard you,
based off
baby.
what we taught her.
Unknown, what you were saying, because they keep cutting you
I
off.
was gonna say setting the bar so low by saying that I wouldn't for my daughter to not go with a gang member is very. That's a bad example to set.
No, he's
Well,
I
being
no,
would.
I'm saying
realistic by
she
saying
got
he only
a
has
nice
so much
guy. He
control.
works. He works. He treats her good. He treats her nice. He works. He has a job. He's polite. He only talks to her and only sees her. So
Stable, so they wouldn't be
so I
sleeping in the
mean,
car.
He a young guy right now. He had a job. Like I said, he had a job, but he's young. So
Yeah,
I
I feel
mean,
Okay,
like
that sounds like you
so
want your child to be with someone financially stable. I'm
I
saying
want
if
I
your
want my
child come
daughter.
home and say this man don't got no job, no education, and we just
no,
applied at McDonald's, he might get the job. You're
No,
not about
no,
to tell
no,
your
no, not
child,
that.
"Hey, I want that for you." Heck
I
no.
know. I'm
I don't
not
want
want.
to.
I
I
don't
don't want
want.
to believe that's the type of man you are.
No, I don't want that. I just want a guy that's gonna be nice to my daughter and treat her
yeah,
good and treat her with respect and not mooch off of her and stuff.
yeah.
Feed
You
her.
I
know.
do also feel as though that is the bare minimum. That's the bare minimum requirement for being in a relationship. But at the same time, when you're talking about people who are like in their early 20s, you can still be financially stable but not have to live a luxurious lifestyle. You can. I used this example before for people who are struggling. You can go to a shared accommodation where you can get a big room for you and your partner, and you're able to save a lot of money there. And
Women
again,
house, right?
like Seven said, you can look to invest in a property. You can look to, you know, explore some business ventures, do something together, where you are looking to into your future.
Yeah.
Financially stable doesn't mean to have something
Why you
luxurious.
want your woman to be a business partner though? Like, I don't get
No, it
that.
could like when
But
when a man gets into when a man or a husband or wife gets into business, you always have someone who's dealing with people and someone who's dealing with the admin. That's just how it goes. You're like it
No, actually,
gets
actually,
thrown
actually, can I?
eventually.
Oh no, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
So one of the biggest things that we have, unfortunately, in our society is yes, ideally it'd be great if two individuals can come together and create a business plan, do all these things. But I wholeheartedly believe that most people, men and women, when you can eliminate questions out of their lives and make it as simple as it is, most people don't want to establish a business. Right now, we have an epidemic of people calling themselves business owners. We have an epidemic of people calling themselves entrepreneurs. We have an epidemic of people who call themselves relationship coaches, fucking PhDs and everything else. When these people have no practical skills in these things, so you can sit here and say these things. So the best route I would give advice to young men is to literally focus on yourself and look for someone to assist you because most people don't want to build homes together. Men nor women.
looking
Well,
for
no,
an
no,
assistant, then look
hold
for a
on.
business partner.
Exactly, but there's a big difference between looking for an assistant and a business partner. Um, in most situations, ideally, if men or women could pick, if they could find somebody who already have an establishment for themselves, they would go for that person. They wouldn't sit here and say, "Yeah, I want to find somebody who's getting it out the mud and trying to figure it out." No, you want somebody already established, and you want to come into an assistant role. And as much as we
Are you
want
talking
to
from
pay,
a woman's perspective?
yeah, no, that's my thing about it is, but most men too. Like, think about it. If we ask people, like, okay, if you met someone like Oprah, who was already a billionaire, and you would marry her, most if you met someone like Oprah, who was already a billionaire, and you would marry her, most men would say, "Hell yeah, I'll marry her." We're not gonna sit here and say, "Oh
You
yeah,
think?
I wouldn't want to do it," and so on and so forth. We absolutely would. So if you want to project this lifestyle, if you want to live this lifestyle, focus on yourself. Don't be an asshole. When you find a partner, respect your partner's opinion, but at the same token, put most of that emphasis into yourself. Don't sit here and say I need somebody to do what I to do to create my dreams. I'm sorry that it doesn't work that way.
hundred
Hmm.
percent. I agree. I
Exactly.
agree with you. I agree with you. But
I agree with you
at the
100%.
at the same time, you being in a relationship doesn't negate the fact that you can build each other up. Having someone to support your dreams that may seem very far fetched when you're a nobody, but you very much believe you can
Name
be a
one man
somebody.
you know who's been built up by a woman.
Oh, there's plenty.
Name one.
I can't
LeBron
name off the top
James.
of my head, but
What?
there's so
No,
many.
no, no, stop, no, stop. Name one.
Behind every successful man is a strong woman.
Name no, but that's not answering my question. Name one man you know who was directly built up by a woman.
And
Obama?
again,
Are
is
you are
anyone
you
else?
are you fucking high? So somebody said LeBron James.
I didn't say that.
So his wife went to the court and shot them balls with him. His wife went there and played his
No, no,
games.
I feel like you're
No, I
His
said
misunderstanding
wife
what.
sit there
Obama.
and said, so
Hold
Barack
on, hold
Obama.
on,
So his
hold on,
wife,
B,
it,
B, B. I feel like
so
you're
his wife
misunderstanding.
so Barack Obama's wife went there and took his L sat. His
Nah,
wife.
hold on, B. Hold on. I feel like you misunderstand what it means to support somebody. It's
No, I don't.
well, it's
I,
not about doing the work. That's not what support is. Support isn't having to do the work for them. It's not like you're trying to get into construction. You have to go there and do the hours with your husband. That's not what support is. Support is getting up early in the morning and making your husband a nice warm lunch or dinner, so that when he's working hard, he has something nice to fill his belly with.
So let me ask you.
Can
So
he
let me
make
ask you a
his
question.
own? Can he make his
Is
own lunch for
let me
dinner?
ask you a question. Is it not a disservice for her, as in while he's trying to do these things and she has to get up and go to work too, she's going out of her way to make that happen for him? That's selfish as fuck.
What, to support him?
No, no. So what? Why does she have to? Why does she have to get up early and do those things for him?
Because that's what it means to support each other.
I think he talking about a woman that's a full-time stay at home.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Well,
And most people nowadays in the world economy we live in, most people cannot afford to fucking do that shit. So we often go to the Barack Obamas, we often go to the celebrities and so on and so forth. Most people can't fucking do that shit, and most people don't want to sign up for that shit.
You
So
know,
that's what I'm saying.
I do believe it's a bit of both. You know, living within your means. I've used this example before. You know, you always have to live within your means. So if you are as an individual unable to provide housing for yourself, that in
You
of
have to
itself
think about it
is
this
an
way
issue.
too.
You shouldn't
If
have to
women,
rely on two people to provide housing
No,
for each other.
but let me ask you a question. How many women do you think will sit here and say, "Oh yeah, I can't live unless me and you move together. I can't start my business unless me and you get together."
Yeah.
Most women are not gonna fucking do that shit. So all this speculative shit that you want to sit here and say, it sounds good. It sounds really great in all reality, and most of us should live
There's
that way.
dudes who
But
tell
that's not
women
the
that they
fucking world
can't
we live
get
in.
things done without them like that. Are there men who tell women that, like, I can't get this off the
Absolutely,
ground without you? That's
absolutely,
crazy.
absolutely.
No,
That's
I'm
crazy.
I don't
sorry.
agree with
I'm
that
sorry.
statement. Who does that?
these
I'm sorry.
What?
misandrous
That's what I'm
women.
saying. Unknown. That sounds
I'm sorry for
unknown as
the. I'm
fuck to
sorry.
me.
That's
No, I'm sorry.
what
That's very
man's
unknown.
aspirations and
So let me ask you a
ambitions.
question. No, let me ask you a
Yeah,
question.
and that's the
Uh,
thing.
Let me ask you a question. Are you college educated?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Have you made over 100,000 euros or pounds or USD
Well,
over the
the
last
correlation's a
5 years
bit
by
different. I
yourself?
think around
No,
eighty
answer my
thousand
question.
pounds
No,
is
no,
above.
answer my question. Have you made this amount of money over the last 5 years by yourself?
He was
Yeah, yeah,
answering your question, dog. Like, what are you talking about? Like, let him answer it. Damn, you can't ask him and then talk over him at the
yeah.
same time.
Yes,
So
I am.
man, the more the story is like most men, especially BLK men in the
So
US.
you didn't care for an answer. You was asking him a question. You didn't care
No,
for an
no,
answer
no,
for
no,
it.
no, 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 no. Think about it is men get upset when I no men men get upset when I talk to them about their financial fragility, and we don't talk about that shit because a lot of us want to be the boss. We want to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, we need a woman to do this, a woman to do that," but at the same time, we ain't got a pot to piss in or window to throw it out of. We want to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, you need to be a part of me when you can't even sustain yourself." I'm sorry, the world we live in does not function that way.
No, I'm
If you
sorry.
cannot be a
Man,
functional
I'm
member of
just looking
society
at
I'm
by
sorry.
I'm
You know
looking at it
what?
yourself,
from a marriage perspective.
if you cannot be a functional member of society by your goddamn self,
I'm
you
looking
need
at
to shut the
it
Yeah,
from
fuck
a
yeah.
up,
marriage
boss
perspective.
up, and get
Forget
you some
about these
money.
hypothetics. I'm
You
just
need to
looking at
shut
it
up
from a
and boss
marriage
up and get you some
perspective.
money. I'm
Be
sorry.
quick.
If you broke, then say that. That's all I'm gonna tell
Yeah,
you.
I'm looking at
be
it from a
quickly
marriage
to yeah.
perspective.
If
I mean,
if you broke, then say that, bro. So I'm sorry. I'm not gonna sit back and wait for no woman to provide nothing for me. If y'all feel that way, we all need a
Wait, I
woman to
don't
give
understand
y'all
what the
hold
this
on,
women
wait
and
a
said.
so on and
minute.
so
Are you
forth.
You're talking. You're not letting anybody
you're
get a
going
chance
you're going
in.
on two different points here.
So
What
you're
point are you
going on a
trying to make?
Cause
tangent, bro, and it's
I
not.
ain't gonna
You're
lie,
not listening.
y'all giving broke boy energy right now, man.
You
How
know
you doing?
you're going on a
No,
tangent
be
so
Bro,
you can
wait,
be
get
wait.
people
quiet.
in.
Respectful though,
I
man.
saw you change
Damn.
your
I was
narrative up real quick. You switched on both sides real quick.
yeah,
But let
yeah.
me
You're
tell
doing
you
both
this.
sides. You're switching up, man.
Yeah,
I,
didn't you
I,
see him play both sides real quick? I think
yeah,
he's watching
yeah.
the
I ain't playing both
comments.
sides
He's
shit.
trying to
No,
get
because
brownie
If you
points
wanna
right
you
now.
switched
if you
up
wanna sit here and
the
make
way
all
your
these
narrative
He
last
if you
minute.
switched
wanna
up
sit here and
on
make
both
all these
sides because he's trying to get brownie points.
Yeah, you switched.
Now look, usually people that have these superficial relationships, they don't last that long. Why do we see all these
right,
beautiful
the
women that are
main
always talking
reason
about a provider still single? Why haven't they found that provider? And
the
why do these men that like to flash money that are relationship gurus? Why are they still single?
expectation of you being single and being financially able is you have the pick of the litter. Be the best version that you can be, because oftentimes we get in these spaces where men we sit here and like to point the fingers at women. We like to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, because well you ain't got this, I ain't got this." No, what about you?
But
Stop,
let me
stop,
ask
stop.
you,
No,
no,
no, no, no, no, no,
currently,
no,
because
no.
I have to
Hold
talk
on,
to
hold on,
all
bro.
these
Hold on,
people
bro.
that's not married.
Alpha
How long
Rock.
have you been married?
You said your name Alpha. So stop real quick. For you to be an alpha, that means you're the first. Alpha means the first. So that means you're the first in everything. You're leading financially, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, and everything else. So why would you need somebody to do anything for you?
No, I don't need that now. I'm fine where we at right now. We got two
No,
houses and we
no,
have a
no, no, no,
timeshare.
no.
But when we started out, I was 25. I was 20. I was a young man
Exactly.
that didn't have nothing. I didn't have a pot to piss in.
But let me ask you this: at 20 years old, I know for a fact. I can admit this about myself. At 20 years old, I thought I knew every fucking thing. I knew what the
Well,
fuck
no,
was going
I
on.
can say, well, I didn't have it all like that. The one thing I
But
ain't
did
gonna
you
do
think
about
that way?
myself, I'm not about to make it seem like like my life has always been great and I always did anything. I'm not gonna use that baller image that I never had in real life. I mean, I started out struggling. I had to work for everything I had, and sometimes I felt like giving up. And I had that person on my side that was supporting me. You gonna do good, baby. Don't worry. There was some times I lost my job and I went broke, and I didn't have. Man, I had to work at McDonald's flipping burgers, and it took me a minute to get that job. Now, my wife could have left me a long time ago, but she stuck around through the bad times. Now, I mean, I'm in real estate. She works as a project manager. We do better now. We have kids that are grown now that didn't end up pregnant. We have the same kids. None of our kids look mismatched. We work together. Everyone's gonna have their own dynamics. But I tell you this: I watched a lot of people who had these superficial relationships break up over finances. Break up over infidelity because they were cheating. I never stepped out on my wife. My wife never stepped out on me. Loyalty
It's
is
not
an actual
I ain't never
relationship.
superficial.
stepped
Go
out on
way
my
past
wife
some
neither.
finances. You could build yourself up financially, and if your woman ain't happy, why you over there making work? Pookie is about to come in your house and bang your girl.
And if she only thing she cares about is your finances, that means she doesn't care about you, brother. If the
Nah,
only thing
nah.
Exactly.
she
She
worried
can't
about
care
is
about
your
you.
money,
These
that means she
superficial
does not
women.
care about you, man. If
These
them girls
superficial
all they do
women.
is
Guys,
ask you all
guys, let
about
me,
money and
No
ask you
money,
all to pay
fam.
for
No
stuff,
money,
that
no
means they don't
honey.
care for you.
The
And
superficial
Yo,
and
women,
that's
so,
how
so,
that
they
so,
money
so.
trick
gone, they
y'all.
divorcing you.
Guys,
You're
can I
paying
ask
And that's
double
everyone a
how she
question?
Yo,
alimony.
trick you.
so.
Can I ask everyone
She
a
trick
question?
Hey,
you
yo, let me
talking
ask y'all a
about
question
she
though.
trick
Wait,
you
can I,
talking about no
Hakeem,
money, no
Yo,
honey.
so,
But
yo,
then
hey,
she
yo,
gotta
let me
do it
ask
if
y'all a
you have a
question.
system for
Hakeem,
nothing.
can I ask everyone a
What is the
question
pen?
quick? I want to ask everyone a question. From
Wait,
guys,
wait, wait.
guys, I just came up to the panel. I wanted to say something, if that's okay.
Okay.
Real quick. So hear me out, guys. Listen, I wanted to go back to the previous question about, should men still be paying in a traditional sense? The question was. Listen, it's a much more complex dating scene for men nowadays. I think that, again, men today are still expected to be traditional and pay, but we have women that are talking outside of the both sides of their mouth. They're picking and choosing and saying, well, I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man, yada, yada, yada. But then they're still looking for a traditional man to foot the bill for them for everything, right? Because if you don't, you're seen as a weak man. So they have the luxury today of picking and choosing when they want to be independent or not, right? And we are still expected to be traditional providing men. So we, as men, we need to take the pressure off of ourselves, realize that we're dealing with a much more complex dating situation, especially with the way women are today, and just fall back and analyze the situation. I think, I don't think that we should be expected to pay any more because, three stats I'll give you guys: women are outpacing men in home ownership, women are outpacing men in education, and women are outpacing men in the work field. So this whole equality thing, women are actually doing better than men today, right? You could almost make the argument that they should be paying for us, right? A reverse hypergamy thing is kind of going on. And so I'm spitting some facts, I'm spitting some fire, but like what I'm trying to tell you guys is look, women, they're not playing fair. They want to be independent and they want to be a boss lady when it suits them, but then they want to be treated like a woman and courted like a woman while simultaneously complaining about things not being equal, but only wanting equality when it benefits them and not wanting it when it doesn't. I.e., whenever you go out to eat with a woman, right? She still wants you to court her and be traditional, and right? But how is that fair to us? It's not fair, right?
Yeah,
We all.
Bro, life ain't
yeah, I
fair.
feel like I'll be honest. Yeah, I feel like that's more of a I feel like that's more of a cultural thing because if a man's providing, if a
Cultural
man
thing.
has the money on the table in terms of he's able to provide, is able to care for his woman, there's an expectation for the woman to be able to be traditional as well.
And
It's
they're
not one
not being
sided.
traditional. They're usually not being traditional, to
What?
is the
Well,
point.
if
Yo,
you
so here's the thing. I think a lot
that's
of
a problem on a man's side. Then if he's
so
looking for a woman who can't
Okay.
be traditional, he needs to move on.
So I think men, we have to kind of like, it's kind of weird for us dating because we always have to set our standards based on what the top guy is doing. Because women are not catering their standards or their ideas, of being a woman to what I like. I'm just an average guy. They cater their standards to the most. 10 to what? 1%
Winners.
of the
Women
time.
want
To the most. 10 to what? 1%
winners.
of the
Women
time.
want
10,
winners.
1% of men. So when we go out there, I can't afford. I might not get a girl if I'm telling her I'm not paying for this. I'm not paying for that because there's men out there willing to do that.
No, it's not, brother. That's just what she's
Yes, it
telling
is.
you. That's
Yes,
you.
it
No, they
is.
just lying to you, brother. They just lying to you. Let me tell you something. If she asks you for money, brother, she does not like you. The
No, no,
dude
no,
that
no.
she
I ain't doing
likes,
no shit like that. But I'm
listen
talking
to me right
about
now. The dude that she likes, brother, she is not gonna care about money because she wants to be with him. When females start talking to y'all about
Uh,
money, that's because they do not like
I
y'all.
mean,
Hey,
I'm
I'm
I
somebody.
telling
Well,
you what
hold
it
disagree.
on. I
I
is.
know a
disagree
They
lot of
don't
too.
like
women.
you,
I
I
brother.
know a lot
disagree
of
too.
women.
nah, nah, nah.
No,
I know a
and I
lot
just
of
tell you the
women
truth,
who,
and it hurts,
bro,
man. Listen, bro,
No,
listen.
so no, no, no. Yo, so
bro.
this Josh.
I know
Joshua, I
a
got a
lot of
question for Josh.
women
Okay.
who may be interested in a dude, but if he can't even take her out to eat and buy her a drink, her pussy get dry. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how it go.
Yeah, and like on top
And
of that,
let's
like,
start here.
I mean,
What is
I'm
the, what's the,
okay.
what what is the risk for a woman that's dating a man that doesn't have money versus a guy that's dating a woman that doesn't have money?
Well, I can tell you this. I can tell you I'm somebody, I do well for myself. And contrary to Joshua's point, I take girls out, I treat them nice, I get them drinks right. And you say, well, if these ask me for money, they don't like. I mean, whether they like me or not, I'm still smashing, and it's not like some sort
Wait,
of
do you
like
give them
arrangement
money?
or nothing.
Hold on.
So like
Do you give them money if they
so
ask you for money?
well, I'm just saying,
Nah,
like,
but yo,
I don't think, I feel what you're saying, Joshua. I know what you're talking about. I think women truly are drawn mostly to, like, a taller, attractive man, or like somebody who's got a good mouthpiece, like that type of thing. Like, a guy who just doesn't care, knows how to talk to him. But I don't know if necessarily if you have money or not, it doesn't really matter. I know what you're saying. If you're just simping on a girl and just paying for her, and she's not seeing you, or like she's not giving you any,
Pussy? Nah.
right.
You
If you're
got
not
it. You
getting
got
it,
it twisted,
then
man.
yeah, then you're just a simp. I mean, that's what that is. But I treat my girls nice, and I
Yeah,
get what I want.
I'll be
Kind of
honest. You
thing.
got it twisted. Just because you have sex with them doesn't mean that that they're still interested. If you're giving them
I
good
mean,
money, it's just a transactional relationship at that point. We're talking about getting into relationships, fall in love with someone. That
sure,
that,
sure.
yeah,
that's the
I mean,
whole
I have
like
that.
premise of the conversation.
It's
uh,
a transaction, brother. It's just a
Yeah,
transaction,
that sounds like you're in transactional. That's something
and
that
that's what I'm
kind of
trying to
proves.
tell men. You don't have
I have receipts.
I hate to say it, but that kind of proves Joshua's points. Say literally what you said proves his point because you're probably that man who thinks his money is actually doing something, but you're just being used by by ladies.
and she
Well,
got
I mean,
another dude that she like that she's not. They don't got to do nothing
Yeah,
for her.
I hate to say it to you. I hate to say it to you, man.
She'll go have some coffee with him. She going over his house. It's Netflix and chill
guys,
because
Yeah,
guys,
she
guys,
likes
guys,
him.
guys, 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 guys. I had a girl who liked me, a Hispanic girl. She doesn't live here anymore in Orlando, Florida. She moved back down to Fort Lauderdale. Just to give you an example, I smashed on the first night. We didn't do anything. She came over off of Bumble, and then I took her out. Right, did nice things for app, but like, you
that's
can't
just
you
an easy
can't make
woman.
it sound so like you can't make it sound like it's not like it's it
That's just an easy
every
night for you,
you
though.
you
That's
guys are
nothing.
you can't make it sound like as a man if you're doing something for a girl then all of a sudden it's transactional. Like that's not. I mean, women want you whether if you're let's just go by your guys' example that you don't have to do anything, right? That you didn't have to do anything. She just likes you. You don't have to do anything, bro. That girl is eventually going to want you to do things for her. It's
Of
not just going
course,
to be like that all the time. Like, right. So the point
of
I'm trying
course.
to, but like, hold on. But I'm gonna dispute what you're saying anyway. A relationship is a form of a transaction anyway. If you actually look at it at face value, you're giving her your time, she's giving you her time. You're giving her your body, she's giving you her body. That's still a transaction.
Yeah,
So whether
but
there's
like,
money involved or not, or whatever you want to call it, right? I know what you're saying, but my relationships aren't like just strictly like that. Like I know what you're saying. You're thinking like, you know, I'm like just giving a girl money or just taking her around, and she's like, I'm only gonna do that if you sleep, bro. My conversations with women aren't static like that. It's not like they like me, they like being with me, we have a good time, right? Potentially with some of these girls, maybe I'm not their, perfect number one or whatever. But the point is like I'm still on the roster. I'll leave it at that.
yeah, no, we're talking about like relationships at a deeper level. I think, acts of service is a big sign of a woman who loves you. Um, Kind of going out of her way. We did briefly talk about, a woman going out of her way to kind of bring you more comfort or
Sure. Yeah, I feel you.
support you in ways,
Yeah, pretty
like
much.
long, hard working days where she's, waking up early, making you lunch. When you come home, you got dinner ready on the table. These type of things which have more weight. Like, we all know, sex is part of a relationship. It's nothing that's new to men who's in a relationship. That's just part of the game. If you're courting women and you have sex on the first night or second night, fair enough. But where does it go from there? How deep is the relationship going to become, or is it just a one night stand?
Because I kick
So
them out because I don't care about it.
yeah, exactly. Well, so that
Yeah.
again proves Joshua's point of that kind of, you have entry maybe based on the monetary value that you have, or maybe your looks or your aesthetics, wherever it may be. But on a deeper level, what's the relationship like is what we're kind of
I
touch
feel
on.
you. I know what you're talking about. I really do.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah. And we're just talking about like the kind of dynamic between a man and a woman in that relationship, and how what should the man be providing, and what does the women kind of add to the
But that,
relationship.
I always get like funny vibes about when they say should be vitamin. I mean, is he able to be provide? Is should be the question.
Listen.
And
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say,
most men,
listen, guys. I'll tell you
What
this.
he
I'm
was
32.
saying. Let him finish what
I'll
he
tell
was
you this.
saying. Let him finish what he was saying.
I said, um, most men when they enter into a relationship initially, I don't know if you should be able to provide everything for woman, or you going into this relationship trying to turn it into a partnership where y'all both you trying to get into a position where you provide by using her as a help me to get to that position you can provide for her. Whatever you're doing, I don't know like the discourse behind it. Like, should a man come into a situation providing
I,
already?
I think I think personally the bare minimum as a man should be to provide housing, and kind of what it encompasses, food within the house, and paying your own bills. And she's moving into that space. And I feel like that's a sense of security that you're providing in a sense. I don't agree with, paying for her luxuries, getting her hair done, buying her new jewelry from the get-go when you're not affluent. Let's say you're not wealthy some shape or form. But
Okay, I can agree with
yeah,
that. Like a sense of security, such as food, water, shelter.
yeah, and just to touch on that as well, or build on it, having a place of residence doesn't have to be a house, 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom. It can be an apartment. It can be, I said it before, a shared accommodation.
Everything
It's
mistakes
something.
on
It's just somewhere where you are paying the bills, and your partners just
Pretty sure
understand the
it says
situation.
mistakes on it, doesn't it? It's a
Yeah, I
movement.
can't talk. Your TV's on, that's why. So the host TV. But it's just a situation where your partner accepts, this is my current financial situation. This is what I can afford while still saving a good amount of money, and building for our future.
In reality, we know like providing in America is more than food, water, and shelter,
Of course.
especially in the black community.
Mm. Yeah,
Food, water, shelter, nails, hair.
and I feel like that's what gets misunderstood the most when when women speak about being provided for, and when men speak about providing. I feel like there's like two different understanding of what it means to provide, and either men think they have to provide for everything, or women think they have to be provided for everything, or both sides understand it's the minimum. But That's a big thing to clarify from the get go, because unless you're an affluent man with good resources in terms of money, it's good to set expectations. This is what I can afford while still building our future.
Or what if you just become an affluent and it's like, I feel like every man has that fear of being used.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna rebuttal it with. I feel like
And it's like,
when you are wealthy,
it's,
you're just gonna
mhm.
doubt everyone. I feel like
And it's like,
when you are
it's,
wealthy, you're just gonna
mhm.
doubt everyone. Are you here for my money? Or are you here for me? And
Yeah, most definitely. So like, we, I feel like wealthy men, or if you like you, we, I feel like wealthy men, or if you like in a position where you got something and you know this girl is coming into the situation knowing that you have this wealth,
yeah,
you require a level of sacrifice. What are you gonna give to this situation in order so you can prove that you're not just here for my wealth?
yeah. Usually, it's recommended just to go to when someone said it before, same tax bracket.
Oh
It's,
yeah, that's most
you're better off
definitely.
going for a successful woman. Though it's, sometimes success and success don't attract, but you're better off going for a woman who's well off or comes from a well off family. So the standards and the expectation isn't too far off. If you go to someone who's, been struggling all their life and they have the opportunity for a rich man, forget it doesn't matter about the looks, they'll bear it. They're gonna go for that rich man.
Yeah, most definitely. And just add on to that, I think it's a fear of what? Hold up, let me get my words together. Oh no, y'all can go. I'm sorry. You know, you got that brain fart, and that shit just dis. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
So that's funny. So I think that men have to be very careful with the women today. I don't think somebody said intricate and complicated and just some the world is unfair thing. You really have to protect yourself as a man. I'm telling y'all, like, listen, these women, right? You have to understand what I was talking about. They get to simultaneously pick and choose if they want to be independent and have a career, right? Or if they want to be if they want to be a traditional woman. Men don't have that luxury. We are expected to provide. We're expected to be masculine. We're expected,
No,
to
I feel
no.
like
No, there is
I feel
100% a burden of performance on men. If you're a man, right, and if you don't step up, you don't provide. If you're not like the confident, strong man. Okay, let me put it to you this way: women can choose to be masculine, independent women. We cannot choose to be feminine, weak men. The world will shun you and will punish you for that. That's the
I
point
know that, but
I'm
I
trying to
think
make.
most men,
So you guys will. I don't know how
most
old y'all are, but you'll learn.
no, I just feel
I
like
agree with
most
you,
men
man.
just choose.
Chef, I agree with you.
But don't.
Not about agreeing with me. It's just about how things are. Like you guys will learn.
But you don't think most men? I think most men, a lot of times, is vulnerable to a pretty face and a big butt. That they're willing to compromise a lot or ignore the red flags that this woman's presenting. And I can tell you for myself personally,
Yeah, right.
I definitely was vulnerable to that because there's a lot of stuff that I looked over because pretty face, big butt. This is the ideal girl that I want. Did I have other girls who were green flags, who was presenting
That's
themselves
true.
in a certain manner that I wasn't attracted to, but I knew they were good women? Yes.
Hmm.
But I think a lot of times we get angry or we get manipulated because we're vulnerable to the fact that, pretty face, big butt, that this girl's telling us, oh, I want a man that provides for me. I believe that a provider does X, Y, and Z. And then here us trying to save the day. and play this role that we can't even afford or can't even do,
That's a
and we
choice
end
you
up in
make,
these
though.
situations.
And
That's a choice you make, though. Nobody forces you to go after those big booty Jones.
it's
I
true.
tell you, we vulnerable to them.
Nah, you vulnerable to them.
Ah, yes, I was. I'll tell you that.
Nah, you was. You don't still like them?
No, I still like them, but it's like
Exactly. That's what I'm
once you
saying.
travel and you see, like, okay, there's options out here, but
Let,
You
let
need
me
that
give
big
them.
booty John in your life, bro.
I want to just say one more thing, and I'll be done talking for a bit. I want to give the men some peace though in here because I believe in bringing men peace when it comes to modern dating. Guys, listen.
Bro,
If
how you
Will,
gonna
if
bring niggas peace? You got peace yourself, bro. Like, come on.
100%, and I'm gonna bring it to you right now.
How you
Listen,
figure
guys.
you got peace?
All right,
What makes
I'm
you
gonna
think you
answer.
got peace?
Guys, listen. You got to be the best man. You got to listen. If
Talk from
if
personal experience, not trying. Don't give me advice.
bro, you can't limit how what I'm going to use as an example or not. I'm about to tell you what I believe and think from me and my personal experience. Okay,
Say
all right.
your
So I'm gonna tell you.
personal experience.
Okay,
What
my
makes
personal
you so
experience.
special?
No, that's not that I'm special. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Are you gonna let me answer the question? Can I answer you? Okay.
Nah, cause I know you about to talk about a lot of bullshit. I'm just
No,
trying to
it's
get
not even
straight to
gonna
the
be
point.
long. I'm trying to answer. Let me answer. Okay. Got, bro. You fucked up my whole flow. I was all right. Listen, guys.
Now it's
You
my
have to
fault.
understand. If you have somebody like Will Smith, whose wife is embarrassing him on television talking about an entanglement, Will Smith, one of the best actors of all time. And if you have somebody like Tom Brady, 6-time Super Bowl champion, 6'5", handsome face, getting divorced, what makes y'all think how good y'all, any of us are, is gonna please, bro? The point is
That's not true. You don't make
don't
that much
stress,
bread.
don't stress. That's the point, bro. What aren't you
And your
understanding? You're
girl don't
proving my
make that
point.
much bread. The girl you
Dog,
dating don't make
let me
that much
finish.
bread.
Let me finish. The
Your
point I'm
girl
trying to
ain't no
make is
boss chick.
those
What you
is
talking
two
about?
situations where these are top men, attractive top men, the best in the world at what they do, tall, attractive, good looking, confident, smart, everything
And they're
that I mean,
dating
right?
high profile women, bro.
Well, you could say that it doesn't matter, bro. They're still getting embarrassed and they're still
If you
getting
don't
divorced.
date a high profile woman, you
Yeah,
might be
that's I
alright.
feel like that's love
Sure,
though in
maybe.
general though. You
Alright,
going
so get you some low key shit and settle down, bro. There's plenty of men out here that are rich with money that don't settle
Chief,
for
Chief, you
high
get the point.
profile
You get
women.
the point, bro. You get the point,
let's not
bro.
settle. I
What
feel
is
like
the
you
point
making
though? What
some
is his point
vulnerable
I
though?
though.
just made my point. It doesn't matter how good you are; these women are still going to be tricking out and
Those are a few
dipping out
women
on you.
that we're talking
Nah,
about. High
nah, they
You
profile
got
guys,
women. You
bro.
gotta
I
get
don't
you a
know
low
how
key
old y'all
woman is the
are.
point,
I don't know
bro.
how old y'all are. All right,
Age got nothing to do with it, bro.
I don't know how old you are,
Just
but
cause
you'll
you
learn.
50 years
You're
old
giving
don't
these
mean you
women way too
smarter
much
than
credit, bro.
somebody, bro.
I'm not 50. I'm 32. Just
And
you'll
just
learn,
cause you
bro.
32 don't mean you smarter than everybody in here, bro.
A little smarter than anybody, but my
And you don't, I
experience.
don't think you got the experience to even talk because you didn't talk about yourself. You just said it,
Okay.
you talking about Will Smith and all these other people. You don't date no high profile woman. You don't know what it's like, bro.
Dog, if you go on any social media, you can search that and search how people in the comment section all
man,
over
that's
social media,
internet
millions of
shit though,
people
man.
talking about that.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. If bro's on some internet shit and it's like, bro, if all your examples are
Oh my
based off
god,
what you
bro.
see on the internet, bro, you're gonna have
We
a
talking
Bro,
bad
real
all my
life.
examples are not
a bad perception of reality, bro. You don't have a good perception of reality and really what it is.
Jesus
Yeah, and
Christ,
I feel
bro.
like we be talking about these relationship issues that we be coming up with a lot of times.
The
I
high
Chief,
profile people,
you're
bro,
hold
it
on,
don't make no
Chief,
sense.
yeah.
Y'all trying to talk about these people nobody cares
bro.
about.
Are you
You
married,
don't
Chief?
talk about people y'all actually know.
Experience.
But what does that
Yo,
have to
Real
do with
life.
That's what I'm
You're
trying to
coming
get to.
at me.
Exactly.
What's your
Real
experience,
life
Mr.
shit, bro.
Experience?
We could get back on topic, so what do you want to really ask me?
I just asked you a question. What's your experience, Mr. Experience? Since you're
I'm
all
not
talk.
gonna go through every relationship I've been through is what
Neither am
I'm
I,
kind of
bro.
saying, but
So you're trying to
you
call me out for that, and I'm calling your ass out.
but your examples were high profile women. It
Yo, why
was
we
a
always
level
talking
to
about
it, bro.
celebrities? Like,
yo, he tripping.
yeah, shit, like I ain't no Jay-Z. I wasn't born like a rock star.
Even
Can I
Jay-Z was
talk to the
cheating on
prompt?
Beyonce, you know what I'm saying?
So,
Me, I just want to start by saying, before I even start to say it, because y'all might not like it, I people would consider me a passport bro. But the difference between me and them is I married the woman that I went out the country to
I
get.
just used it for a video.
All right.
So you gave her the green card.
Not only did I give her the green card, she gave me 2 kids, and we've been married 6 years now, and we've been to 19 different countries together. And you know what I
What
mean?
age you did that?
Well, I started dating her when I was 32. I'm
And how old was
37.
she?
I'm 37 now. She was 22. She 26, 27 now.
Oh, what country she came from?
So
Ethiopia.
32 and 22, and you went to Africa to get a John.
Ethiopia, yeah.
Oh, Ethiopia.
Nah, I just seen this Ethiopian girl. She was bad as hell. She asked me
Oh
if I
yeah,
was her.
baby.
Dog, look at this. Look at this right here. Why don't you check this out? Hold on. Check that out.
Oh, you look.
That's my wife page right there.
I can't even see it, bro. I
In the
don't know how to
comments, you can't see that in the comments?
Well,
What it
honey
say? Honey
buns.
bun 167.
Yeah, check that out. That's me and my wife right there. You know what I
Nah,
mean?
I gotta check it out later.
I
My shit
I
was
went
tripping.
I went to her country. I met with her mother and her father. You know what I mean? We did all the cultural marriage. We
Oh, you
went
got her
on
a cow?
Wait, how long it took you to marry her then?
to
Like you
meet her.
just went nah, marry her, Nick. Like
No,
you
all right.
went
So
you
we
went
was
over
date
there and just
we was
found
dating
some
for
girl and just married her. Like what we talking
no,
about?
we was dating for 3 years before we married.
So you stayed in Ethiopia then?
Yeah, I went over there a couple times and stayed over there for like 6 months at a time, five
So you
months at a time.
so let's say in between that 3 year span, you was only there for like 18 months.
Yeah, in the 3 year span, I was only there for 18 months, but we also went and lived together in Thailand. Like when I first found out she was pregnant, she didn't want to get all her prenatal and all that kind of stuff in Ethiopia. So we booked a long
You
term
mean
stay
you?
out in Thailand. And we stayed out there for the first couple of trimesters.
Nah, so
And
would you
then,
say like maybe like you married her because you got her pregnant, bro?
no, I married her because one, she was beautiful. Two, she was way more agreeable than any American woman I've ever met. Like what I wanted to be on, she wanted to be on. And then when we didn't understand each other about some shit,
But that's
or
cause she poor, bro.
no,
Yeah.
that wasn't because she was poor, but that's why I'm
This
saying
comes from nothing,
you
bro.
can't make an assumption about somebody, right?
I
Because when I
mean,
met her, right, she was
But this is what
going to
people say
school.
about the passport, bro. They take
Yeah, that's
advantage
what
of
that's
third
what they
world
could say,
country women.
but
And so
chef,
like
look,
technically
chef.
like this is that
I thought you
situation.
switching the pot
No,
or
it's
the
not that.
microphone.
It's not that situation because when I met
I
her,
mean it's
she
easy to
was.
get a third world girl and that's what they saying, bro.
But that's what
And
they
what
could.
and Chief, what about you? Your life, bro? You seem
Hey
to
yo
know
yo yo yo
everything.
yo
But
yo yo
think
yo yo
about it
yo.
realistically, is it not easier to
Fucking
get a
pussy
poor
ass
woman,
boy.
bro? Like what
No
we
no no
talking
no
about?
no no no. But this what I'm saying.
From
You
somewhere else. You could go to DR, you could go to like wherever
no
you
no
want
no
to
no no no
go,
no 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 no.
Ethiopia,
What
Africa,
you missing
go
here
to
is that when I met
Transylvania,
her,
UK.
she was going to school in China for doing aviation maintenance. When I met her, she had a job making in her poor country, quote unquote. She had a job making the same amount of money that I was making in America. And that's why I be dropping my wife's page
But
so
you think
people
it's the
could go to
same?
her page and
It's
see
not the
that
same.
she had her own money when I met her. She had her own bread when I met her. She was living in her own house when I met her. You know what I'm saying? That when people say, oh, she was poor, how was she poor? And she was making the same amount of bread that I was making as a teacher. You feel me? That's why I dropped the page like that so people could go and see because they
But
got a
even at
lot of
that, it's like you do have a 10-year advantage on her at the same
What
time.
you
So
say?
it's like you got a 10-year advantage on her at the same time, so it makes it a little awkward, you know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though I
So
had a
if you
10
got a
year,
10-year advantage plus like she's young, she's making I mean she's making a couple of dollars, sure.
she was at
But
least
what
making
about her
40,000.
family? What's her family doing? Her
Her
family's
Mm-hmm.
family
broke
background, her family
or they
background is her
rich?
dad was a chief engineer. and for the National Electric Company, and her mom was a stay-at-home wife. So the reason why we
So
linked
they
up
want
and linked up
American
so
men to come in and just save the day. Like,
no, how could
so
we save the day if she was making the same bread that I was making?
because
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You
it's
just
part
making
of
shit up.
intertwining y'all family so y'all could get it like back into
No,
the
you just
U.S.
making it. You just making it sound the way you want it to sound. When I
Nah, but
met her,
that's the assumption. This is the assumption.
that's
But
the assumption. But when you
this may
assume,
not
you
be
make an
true,
ass
bro.
out
This
of you and me.
sure, but like this may not be true, but this is what you
All
could
right,
kind of.
chef. This why people probably be trying to scream.